Day by day, dear Lord, of thee 3 things I pray: to see thee more clearly, to love thee more dearly, and to follow thee more dearly, day by day. In the late 1980s, not 1880s, in the late 1980s, when I was in the process of discerning my call to the ordained ministry, and the church was discerning my call as well, one of my seminal experiences of growth was while becoming a participant for 3 years in Education for Ministry. Education for Ministry is a 4-year spiritual formation program for adults, developed by the University of the South School of Theology in Swanee, Tennessee. Simply put, the program provides people with the education necessary to carry out the ministry to which they are called in baptism, whether lay or ordained. EFM groups are found everywhere. They are spread throughout the United States and various countries across the globe. In recent years, EFM has united communities with the technology of participants in varied geographical locations. Study groups, think along the idea of Oxford University's tutorial groups, usually consist of 6 to 12 participants who follow weekly seminars for 9 months of the year. They use a curriculum that covers the Hebrew Bible, the Christian scriptures, church history, ethics, and philosophy. But even this explanation is a pale understanding of this unique and powerful program, full of transformation, conversion, and spiritual growth. So, how best to capture the EFM community? In my case, it was meeting weekly in the home of our mentor, whose name escapes me here in Columbia. What I remember is that she was a talented and dedicated amateur figure skater with 3 children. And when we gathered, we sat around a coffee table always laden with books and comfortable couches. And I had some of the most enlightening God talks in my life there. Like the night we all did a theological reflection, the great hallmark learning in EFM, on who God is. And we debated fiercely over finding the perfect metaphor picture of God, and finally gave up and came up with God as Charlie Brown, poised to kick the football that Lucy is holding, even knowing that she's going to move it at the last minute, and doing it over and over. We even had T-shirts printed. I was so delighted with the community formed by my EFM group in those 3 years. We witnessed together births, divorce, and cancer, but we were held together by worship and learning, and most of all, the craft of theological reflection. How to notice, to see, and to reflect carefully and theologically on where we saw or others found God in daily reality. I was so grateful for the foundation in Holy Scripture that in many ways prepared me to have a good basic knowledge of the Old and New Testaments. To my surprise, mentoring now in the current and very updated curriculum here at Christ Church, this past year has brought me so much more new information and surprised me with things I never knew. Every EFM group begins and ends their sessions with worship, initially mentor-led and then by each participant. Just this year at CEC, we've had prayers by Henry Nouwen, prayers for the Jewish tradition, prayers crafted carefully of preparation for our studies, and liturgical rituals for first century Christianity and Native American spirituality. One of our highlights this year, studying women's roles in the Hebrew scriptures, was that our group composed a psalm of old women. If you happen to be in the conference room here, take a look at the bulletin board. The core of the EFM program is not just Bible study, worship, or even snack, which we always have. And it's not even the sharing of our spiritual journeys. It's not even the very deep friendships and trust of a loving and compassionate Christian community that forms. But it is learning the craft of theological reflection. Each week, the mentor or a participant introduces a slice of life. It can be from the action source, a piece of artwork from culture, a story from the biblical tradition, or even a statement of conviction. And the group, working with a model of learning, generates its theological reflection, ending always in an apply action commitment for the following week and onwards, carrying the reflection into the praxis of Christian ministry in each of our lives. Over the course of the program, this skill enables each participant to discern and grow in their personal ministry for Christ, both in the church and in the world. A recently developed feature of the 50-year-old EFM program is the interlude, a 1 or 2 week period in the curriculum that introduces books and texts that address challenging topics. This year, for example, we studied a series of essays about women's role in the Hebrew Scriptures. We explored a theology for transgender views of a triune God. And we reviewed a book on Black American experience of lynching and suffering in slavery and how that related to the cross. Each of these experiences led to insightful group discussion, reflection, and a broadening of our faith journeys. Why am I offering EFM here at Christ Church? Well, mainly because I love the program. I have mentored 3 EFM groups in the past, both in our own diocese and in the Diocese of Easton. And I have to tell you that watching the spiritual growth of participants and the discernment and practice of their ministries and vocations that they embraced is like seeing a living conversion and Christ's calling to living in technicolor reality. And I've grown myself as well. And I've loved my inclusion in part of what is a Christian koinonia, a Christian fellowship, communion with God and with fellow believers. It's such glorious fun, filled with laughter and plenty of tears, and let's Google it moments, as well as respect and new knowledge and insight. As the development of the next season of EFM takes place and takes shape, which we start in September, we are welcoming some new CEC participants and registering them throughout the summer. We are mostly made up of in-person participants. That means on-site participants, although all of our participants are in person because some of us choose to participate on Zoom and some in person in the room. We always have people who are welcome to use one or the other forms of being present. We meet for 3 Sundays of each month between late summer and spring from 1:30 to 4:30 p.m. If you are interested or you have questions and would like to find out more, please visit our website, the website's recent post, or feel free to speak to me or one of our other participants here at church. And you can always email me anytime. Thank you so much. I'm glad to share this with you.